Welcome back, everyone. The time is finally here. On today's video, I will go over the speaker that has replaced my Wilson Audio Alexandria XLF. Alright, it is Sunday, January 16th, and I am shooting this video because I know many of you guys are very anxious to know the speaker that I have chosen. Now, of course, there are several things that I took in consideration in order to select the speaker. So let me tell you the criteria that I used. Number one, efficiency. I wanted a speaker that was, at the very least, 91 dB efficiency. Part of the reason why, guys, is because I am a person that enjoys listening to music occasionally at low level volume, but I want to hear my tweeter sizzle. I want to hear my tweeter sparkle. I don't want to have to crank up the music in order to hear the detail that I am typically looking for when I select a speaker. So the efficiency of a speaker typically allows you to hear music at a very, very, very low volume. Number two, musicality. The speaker needed to be musical. I do not want to try hard to make the speaker sound musical. As you guys know, owning the Griffin Mephisto monos right next to me right now, these are amplifiers that are very revealing, but they're not going to turn a speaker into a musical speaker. So I wanted to essentially help the amplification part by putting a speaker that is naturally musical. Number three, I wanted a full range speaker. Absolutely no power subs, no power woofers of any kind. Because, guys, I do review a lot of amplifiers, especially the Mephistos here. I need to hear the low-end punch of all the amplification I cycle through. I can't have a speaker that has power woofers because, in my opinion, it is impossible to review any sort of amplification when you are helping the amplifier deliver the low-end registers. Okay, so it is very crucial for me that that speaker also gets down to 20 hertz or as close as possible to 20 hertz. I like to feel the muscle of the presentation. I want to feel the impact. I don't want a speaker that is limited to 27, 28 hertz. To me, that doesn't work. I need that full bottom end control and punch. And the Mephistos are world class at this. But if I can't put a speaker that can also communicate this punch, then I'm basically doing nothing. So this is another key element for my speaker selection. The next criteria is I wanted a speaker that has a down firing port. I have already tried front firing, rear firing speakers, and also sealed cabinets. To me, I think there is something special to be said about down firing speakers. One of the reasons why I love the Joseph Audio speaker, that kind of gave me some data points for my room, and it also played a big role in my speaker selection this time around. Next, it has to be a speaker that is a mainstream brand. I did not want to select a speaker brand that only a handful of dealers have, because that makes it impossible for you guys, my subscribers, to get out and find this speaker and hear it in person. So I wanted to place a product that you can find hopefully within driving distance and that you can experience in person what I'm experiencing here in my room. I wanted to bring another well-known brand in here, and I think I have done just that. The next criteria is finding a speaker that has synergy with my VAC setup. The preamplifier you see here plus the monos that you see on your screen right now. Okay, I wanted a speaker that I know will have unquestionable synergy with this setup. Because the goal is eventually to do a shootout of a full vac amp and preamp against my Mephisto with the solution preamplifier. Solid state against tubes. Plan to do that for you guys. So this was another key element in my speaker selection. Last but not least, I heard your prayers. Guys, I wanted to place a speaker that had an MSRP of under $100,000 USD. If you remember my last two speakers, they were both north of that price point. The Magical M6 at $170,000+, and then of course the Wilson Audio XLF at $200,000. I wanted to bring something to you guys that is hopefully a little closer and within reach of your budget. Okay, and I think I have done just that. I do not think that you guys are going to be disappointed at the speaker that I am about to introduce to you guys. You all ready? Meet my Focal Utopia Maestro Evos. There you have them. This is a large speaker, believe it or not, although it is not as big as my Wilson Audio XLFs. You can see right now on the screen a side shot of how the speakers compare to each other, next to each other. Still a pretty big speaker. Okay, I am 6 feet tall, as you can see, and it is still heavy. It's about 270 pounds. Two 11-inch woofers, by the way. You got the 6-inch mid-range driver, and of course the beryllium tweeter. Downfiring port. And I do not know if you guys can see right now, but I do have them already on the ISO Acoustics footers, which I will be doing a review about, by the way. So stay tuned for that. Take a look at the back of the speaker right now. You can actually do adjustments as well for the lows, the mids, and the high frequency. To me, this is also a key element for me because it gives me more flexibility. It allows me to fine-tune the speaker as I continue to try different products, different amps, different preamps. This is very valuable, guys. Okay, I know a lot of you guys don't ever think about these things, but adjustments on the speaker, just like the Wilson Audio that I had here, now the Focals, are things that, in my opinion, definitely make a difference and give you more flexibility. Remember, none of us have the perfect room, okay? Oftentimes you'll have a speaker that you wish had a little more bass. So you go out there and you buy a subwoofer or a pair of subwoofers, right? Or had a better mid-range and you buy a tube preamplifier. So you have to spend more money. Having these adjustments allows you to not have to go out there and buy more products just to get a little more mid-range, to get a little more bass. You can do this on the fly. Plus, you can also bi-amp these speakers, which I plan to do, by the way, with the Mephistos, which I have never heard the Mephistos be bi-amped to anything yet. So I plan to use the 4 binding posts on the back of the Mephisto and connect it to the Maestro Evo to see what kind of results I get. Initially, what I can tell you guys, I can tell you a couple of things about the speaker. They're not fully broken in yet, okay? So they still need more time. What I can tell you right out of the gate, it is not by any means a bright speaker. I know there is a lot of narrative out there, a lot of chit-chat going back and forth that people are always accusing Focal of being bright speakers. I am here to tell you, you're hearing it from me, the dude that owns the speakers, the dude that has had, this is my 4th Focal, I believe, already. The Utopia line is not a bright speaker. The Evo, to be specific. The Utopia Evo line. I do not know about the earlier generation 3. Can't talk about that. But the Evo line is not a bright line. You need to just make sure you have the proper setup. You can't be putting Nordos cabling into this, okay? It's not going to work. It's going to be too bright. Naturally speaking, if you put a cable that has a little bit of warmth, the speaker responds positively to cables, to tube preamplifiers. It sounds wonderful with Shonyata right now. It sounds wonderful with The other cable line that I have here that I'll be doing a review about, it sounds wonderful with my transparent cables. So I don't find the speaker to be bright. And mind you, it's still breaking in. Okay. Another thing that I have noticed about the speaker, it was pretty easy, guys, to set it up. I didn't really have to struggle too much. It kind of sits more or less, as you can see here. They sit approximately in the same spot where I placed my Wilson Audio Sasha DAWs. So I am approximately about 9 feet from the speaker, and they are about 9 feet apart from each other, tweeter to tweeter. Pretty standard setup. It doesn't seem to be that difficult to get the speakers properly placed. I think you're going to get positive results with very minimal effort in terms of placement. So if you're looking for a speaker that doesn't seem to be too fuzzy about placement, so far I can tell you this is certainly one speaker that can take you in that direction, okay? Of course, another thing that I should mention is the fact that going from a soft dome tweeter to a beryllium tweeter now changes the feeling of the presentation, because now I am going to have a lot more detail than a soft dome tweeter. Yes, I am a believer beryllium tweeters have more sparkle than soft dome tweeters. Now, I don't want this to become a debate and a back and forth thing. It's not about that. I personally believe beryllium tweeter always has an extra ounce of extension that sometimes it's not quite obvious with a soft dome tweeter. And I really can appreciate that, because it goes back to my first point of this criteria, which was that low-level information and detail that you find with a beryllium tweeter, that you don't really need to crank it up to hear these tweeters just begin to sparkle, okay, and begin to really shoot information at you. Does that make sense? I hope you guys are as excited as I am about this new speaker. I have a lot of plans for it, including that shootout that I have mentioned between the VAC and my Mephistos with the Solution 725 preamplifier. I think it's going to be a very interesting shootout, and you guys do not want to miss that, okay? Thank you for your time, guys. I hope you guys are very happy to hear that I am going in a different direction. Please continue to subscribe and support me, guys. And I will be at the Florida Audio Expo, by the way, next month. So I hope to meet some of you guys over there. Until the next one, take care.